Recent flooding in Connersville, Indiana has put a lot of people in a dark situation. Their homes are damaged, all of their property has been ruined, and they are left cleaning up a mess. Amongst all this devastation comes another problem that, as a stormwater professional, I'd like to discuss. Connersville Wastewater Treatment Plant lost thousands of gallons through their sewer lines into the East Fork of the Whitewater River. This is something that they knew was a problem and have been working on for several years. While the situation sounds and seems to be very serious, your local, state are working together to make sure that they fast track the repairs on this current situation. For the time being, residents are being asked to not go into the East Fork of the Whitewater River, as well as part of the Great Miami River. These areas have been contaminated with sewer. Connersville has what's referred to as a combined sewer system. That means that stormwater and sewer enter into the same lines. So in a heavy rain event, those lines get taxed. There are manhole covers, curb cuts. Every drop of water is supposed to go through a water treatment plant before entering into the Whitewater River. Heavy rain amounts overrun the system, and there become points in which contamination enters into the waterways. That's why we're saying stay out of the water. For your information, the East Fork is already on the TMDL list of impaired bodies of water. More specifically, excessive amounts of mercury found in fish tissue as well as E. coli in the water. This particular event at the wastewater treatment plant did not cause the problem. However, it magnifies the problem. Since 2006, Connersville officials at the wastewater treatment plant have been working with IDEM, Indiana's Department of Environmental Management. They have come up with a plan to repair Connersville's wastewater system. This is something that requires time, and 2030 is the projected completion date for the improvements that IDEM has asked Connersville to provide. The flooding that we've recently seen is unprecedented. It's definitely anything but ordinary. When water rises to historic levels, it puts enormous pressure on the roads and stormwater infrastructure. That's why it's important to look at the current situation within its proper context. The fact that Connersville has experienced this is not a result of lack of diligence. In fact, I would argue that the opposite is true. The city has spent years and have dedicated future years to improving the situation for its people. Sometimes, however, Mother Nature can put even improved infrastructure to the test. The Whitewater River is a very important part of the communities there in eastern Indiana. It's where we work, live, and play. The good news is that agencies are paying attention. This river has faced environmental challenges in the past, and IDEM is giving us the confidence that the majority of the problems in the Whitewater River are not coming from this recent rain event. What does that mean? The past years of planning is actually working. But with historical flooding, it reveals that there is more progress to be done. So what can be learned from this situation? That's the real story here. Connersville has been working for years to improve. They have been documenting and following through on corrective actions. For people involved in stormwater pollutant prevention planning, it is essential for us to know that we must be able to defend what is going on through our stormwater infrastructure. We must be willing to work with the state and federal agencies because their best interest is for the community at large. It is very important that whether you are an industrial site or whether you are a municipality or even an HOA board member, that you are being mindful of how your area affects the watershed as a whole. The decisions that you make with your property affect the whole community.